It's not like I'm incapable of saying when I'm wrong or when the comments are right. And 4 years ago, I checked out this MIDI keyboard, the Akai Mpk Mini Play. And I did a review of it, I tested the sounds, and then I compared it to its counterpart at the time, the Akai Mpk Mini. And I came down pretty hard on the MPK Mini Play. We're going to talk a little bit about what makes the Mini Play different. And when I did come down harshly on the MPK Mini Play, a lot of people took to the comments and made some really good points about their use cases for this MIDI controller and also standalone instrument that has a speaker and built-in sounds, unlike its Akai Mpk Mini proper counterpart. So I just want to take the time today and revisit the MPK Mini Play 4 years later and bring up some of those very valid points from the comments on that video. This is not going to be like a full rundown breakdown of the Mini Play. I've got that video already, sound test, and also the comparison video. You can check those out if you want. I'll link them in the description. But if you're on the fence about getting the MPK Mini Play and you're not sure if it will work for you, I'm going to try to describe some of the best ways people have mentioned to me that the MPK Mini Play is perfect for them. So let's turn this thing on, plug it in, and check out the controller. Alright, so my harshest criticism of the MPK Mini Play when it first came out was the sounds. The sounds are not amazing. These are basically general MIDI sounds, so they sound pretty generic. Like, here's what the piano sounds like out of the box. It's not horrible, but it's definitely not the best piano sound you've ever heard. Let's just listen to a couple more. Like, here's the electric piano. And for contemporary production, you'll be hard-pressed to find a sound that works for some of the more contemporary popular genres that you're probably working to create. However, the Akai Mpk Mini Play is pretty much one of the only instruments, one of the only small, compact keyboards in this price range that even has built-in sounds. So that's a big step up. Not only that, it has a speaker, so you can play out loud no matter where you are if you wanted to do that. And even though the sounds are not the best, the strength here is that Akai did something very smart, and they gave us control over the sound. They gave us control over the filter, the resonance of that filter, a reverb effect, and a chorus effect. Not only that, we have adjustments for the envelope, like attack and release, and then we also have EQ functionality. So let me just head back to like the electric piano, which I don't think sounds very good stock. It sounds very generic, old 80s, which is fine sometimes, but we've progressed. So if I wanted to make this something cool, I might consider filtering. Seeing I like to work in lo-fi, let's lower that filter. Take out some of that bell tone at the top. That's fine. I'm not going to mess with the resonance. Now let's change the attack and release and make something, pretty different. So if I raise this attack, we'll get a nice fade-in sound. We'll obviously lose some attack. That's pretty cool. I don't want to lose too much. And then let's also crank up the release so I don't have to hold down the keys. Throw in things like reverb, and we have even more of an atmospheric sound. And then we can even add chorus. And to me now, this is an even more usable sound. We've come a long way from the original electric piano sound. And you have this level of adjustment for all of the sounds built into this. Now, I'm talking about the instrument sounds here. I would say another big shortcoming of the MPK Mini Play are the drum sounds. Now, you might think, oh, we can turn that reverb off, but seemingly, no, we can't. So I definitely wouldn't consider using this for drum sounds by any means, and there's only a limited amount of kits anyway. But the major comment that I was getting on that original video was that people wanted a small instrument device that maybe if they play in a band or something, or maybe they do live looping, that they could use as like maybe even like a synth lead. Like, let's see what we have for synth here. I know there's like a just generic kind of synth somewhere on here. So we have square lead and saw lead. Let's just dial in some of these effects a little bit. Love that. Let's mess with the attack maybe. And give it some more release. Fine with that. And now if you do play in a band or something, like maybe you're the guitar player or maybe you're the bass player and your band needs a quick instrument lead sound in the intro of a song or for a solo or something, you can set this thing up on stage super easily, and it's battery powered. So like you don't got to plug it into anything. You just run your cable out and boom, it's there. Fantastic. Love that. So as sort of like this limited side instrument, it's very, very capable. And I can't think of another thing besides like a standalone synth or something that probably costs a bit more. Maybe you could do something like the Arturia Micro Freak, but that has a very distinct synthy sound. This has kind of stock sounds like piano and electric piano and square lead and glockenspiel and things like that. So if you're looking for like those kinds of sounds for your use case, this might actually be pretty good. And I'm hard pressed to think of something that can compete with it that isn't, like I said, a general synth where you'll probably have to do some sound design or it will have a very distinct synth type sound. People in the comments were also talking about getting it for a younger kid or somebody just starting out who wants their first keyboard. And, you know, not to rehash my old video, but since then, since 4 years ago, Akai has actually released an update to the MPK Mini Mark III, which I've got plenty of videos on. Quick rundown, it's just a MIDI keyboard, no built-in sounds. You need to connect this to the computer and have software to make it make sound, or this doesn't make sound, the software makes sound. So since then, the construction of the new MPK has immensely been improved. Everything from the key construction to now having endless encoders to these pads being now MPC, like proper MPC pads on this controller, and just the overall build quality feeling a bit better. You need a computer for this. You don't need a computer for this, despite the fact that it's kind of like an outdated design and structurally, I guess. But if you have a kid who's like not that interested in taking full-on piano lessons, but wants to learn like basic melodies or even just basic chord progressions, like maybe they want to follow along with my music theory tutorial or something, or you learn some music theory, you can do that. And great, they can plug in headphones or they can even play out through the speaker. Practice, learn. For some of you that are not even just kids, if you want to just practice simple music theory things like getting to know your intervals and getting to know your chords, scales, etc. 25 keys, mini keyboard. This is nice because you don't have to open your laptop and get distracted by something. You can literally just have this on a table, pick it up, turn it on, and you're good to go. And not to mention the fact that you plug this in via USB to your computer and it can also pretty much do exactly what the MPK Mini does. However, the pads are not as good. There are only 5 knobs here as opposed to the full 8. And well, that's about the same as far as limitations go. Can you survive with only 5 knobs? Probably. Can you survive with slightly less good pads? Probably. But if you're only working in the DAW, this is what you need. And that was the point of my first video. I wasn't really considering a lot of the other use cases for the MPK Mini Play. But before I tell you what actually got me thinking about all this and why the SP404 Mark II actually inspired me to pick the MPK Mini Play up again, I want to just remind you that this channel, this content is not possible without your support. And that can mean a lot of things. Your support can mean you leave a like on this video or whatever videos you watch from me. That really does help more people see the videos. It can mean you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That helps a lot because when you first post a video, its performance in like the first 24 hours like helps it get out to more people if it does well. And that can also mean becoming a channel member. Now, there are a lot of channel members already. You might have already seen some of them in the comments with the cool little keyboard symbol next to their name. They're all different colors based on how long people have been members for. And we have just a really cool community of members. We have our own Discord server where people connect and collaborate. We just had a really cool collaboration happen in the community, actually. It's where people submit music for our track review streams that are members only. And it's also just like a fun general hangout. Members at the VIP tier and above also get my sample packs when I drop them. So like every time I drop a sample pack, that sample pack is free to members. The other ones go back to being paid, but if you're a member, each time I drop a sample pack, you can literally get every single sample pack for free at the time that it drops. So I am working on my next sample pack right now at the time of making this video. If you became a member right now, you'd be able to go to the community tab, download a full sample pack, and then every single member can download a little mini pack that I put out of just like 10 samples or loops and things like that. If you want to get on that, it's a really cool community. Connect your Discord to your YouTube account, join our server, take part in the track review streams, and then also get free sample packs. And you help support the channel, help make it so I can keep making videos like these. Okay. But now, why did the SP404 Mark II inspire my rethinking about the MPK Mini play? All right, so the SP404 Mark II, if you don't know, is just this standalone sampler and like basically groovebox. You can make beats on it, you can sequence them, you can sample into this, and you play them on the pads. I've got videos on it if you're curious to hear more. But interestingly, the SP404 Mark II has an instrument input. Now, most of the time when I'm working with the 404 Mark II, I've got my sounds loaded in on the SD card, like drum sounds, samples to chop, etc. But other times I don't have the one-shots that I need to make little sampled instruments, or I want to add a lead line on top of things, etc. If I only have the SP404, I'm kind of limited. You could plug a guitar in here, I could plug a synth in here, but I'm thinking more and more about plugging in the MPK Mini Play into this, because maybe I just want to add a bit of an electric piano sound, lay down some chords that I don't have a sample of. Whatever it may be, this could actually make the perfect companion. And they're both battery operated, so this is a nice portable setup here to be completely standalone from the computer. So that's why the 404 Mark II has got me thinking about the MPK Mini Play. If you want to see me use these two in conjunction, please let me know in a comment down below, and maybe I could do a video of showing you how I might combine these two. But for those of you that have like a portable sampler like the 404, it might be worth your while just to get like a fairly inexpensive keyboard like the MPK Mini Play just to sample into. And I talked about being able to edit the sounds on here, like edit the envelope, add effects, change the filter. But when you combine that control with the effects and the sound design elements that you get in the 404 as a sampler, you can do even more to make these sounds even better. Like, they're so generic at first, you can tweak them a little bit, make them a bit better. Putting them into a sampler like the 404, you can manipulate them even more to get them sound even cooler. All right, so thank you to everybody who commented on the original MPK Mini Play videos and set me straight. You all were right. There are a lot of use cases for the MPK Mini Play beyond just the in-the-box producer. Now, my opinion on that still stands. If you're just going to be an in-the-box producer, you're not really interested in built-in sounds or the speaker, then still go with the proper MPK Mini Mark III or one of the other major MIDI keyboards. But if built-in sounds with, a headphone out and even a speaker is appealing to you and you have a use for it, this is pretty much like one of the only things out there besides some of those synth products that have distinct sounds to them. But this is like one of the only things on the market. I mean, you could get the cat piano, that's true. But anyway, let me know what you thought about this video. I'm happy to follow up on like older gear if it makes sense. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said earlier, this channel, these videos are only possible with your support. So please go ahead, leave a like on the video. It's completely free. Subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. That's free too. And if you have a little more to give, consider hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. When you hit join, you'll see a list of all the different perks and tiers and stuff. So hopefully you'll consider joining. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.